Mike Hogan, and I'm here with Pete Sharma, who has just given the opening plenary session at this year's BESIG Summer Symposium, which is on teaching business English with digital technologies. So Pete, can you tell us a little bit about what you were speaking about?
Yeah, in the plenary, it was very much a plenary that was looking at the way that technology has changed two things, really. The first part was about how it's changed the way that people do business and how we communicate. I mean, one example of that is people always seem to have their smartphones turned on. They might even have them turned on in a restaurant, so you're actually sitting in a restaurant, dining out, but somebody's checking their emails, and this is becoming, I think, more and more acceptable in different cultures. So a lot of it was about the way that technology affects how we do business. And the second part was very much connected with our jobs as business English teachers. So it was how technology has affected the way that we deliver courses, the materials that we use, and so on. So it had these two parts to it.
Okay, and something I found quite interesting in there as well was you were saying the development of new forms of vocabulary because of developments in technology, so new verbs arising and things like that. How do you feel about teaching students text speak?
When you say text speak, I always divide that between things that you should be able to understand and things that you'd actually use. So I never ever teach something for production, which I feel is not standard. So I think it's really good to understand stuff like OMG, oh my God. I was delayed recently on a flight, and the text that I received was, oh my God, as in, how are you going to arrive? And I think it's useful just as language learners, people should understand things like that, but I wouldn't necessarily promote going around using all these different things.
Right, so more so that they can understand what other people might use in communication with them.
That's right.
Okay, great. And one of the other things that I found quite interesting as well was you were saying that based on a survey I think that you did with publishers as to whether course books will survive or not, the overwhelming answer was I don't know. So, I mean, what do you personally think is going to happen to course books in the future in light of digital technologies?
Well, I think it'll be a bit like a pendulum swing in the sense that a lot of people are questioning the validity of having print material, and they're kind of perhaps overcompensating and rushing into digital stuff. And at the same time, when you do that, you kind of deny people that prefer print. So I've got a diary, I've got, I like reading books. I think I always will like reading books, but I think that at the same time, I've got a Kindle. So I kind of go to bed with thousands of books and read them on a Kindle. So I think what will probably happen is that there'll be kind of a lot more digital stuff in the future, but I would like to think that the ways in which people access material will still include things like books, for example. And I think the term course book now, I mean, it really does imply so many different things. You say course book, there's a CD-ROM at the back, there's stuff on the web and so on, so there's it's quite a broad term.
And I mean, you mentioned a moment ago that people are using smartphones an awful lot more as well, and we've just been discussing course books. Do you envisage a future where people are using their smartphones to access things like e-workbooks? And, you were saying course books are much more than that. They've got CD-ROMs, websites, things like that. What's your take on M-learning? So using your mobile to learn from or with?
I think it'll be a really important part of the future. I think that's one of the things that technology has done, just open up that whole 24/7 learning anywhere. And just at the moment, I think we're all a bit obsessed with the iPad. And at the end of the day, I mean, it is a beautiful piece of kit and it is inspirational. And, education is about learning, and if education is inspirational as well, I'm very, very happy to go along with it. And I think it's difficult to foresee too far into the future, but certainly for the near future, we'll be hanging onto those tablets and just seeing what they can offer.
Brilliant. Okay, that sounds fantastic. Well, thanks a lot for taking a couple of minutes to tell us about your talk and your take on these various issues relating to digital technologies. And thanks a lot to everyone out there who've been watching. Stay tuned for some more interviews.